Yoink. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle and welcome back to a brand new video. My throat is really sore because I've had no water and it's actually 3 in the morning when I'm recording this, so yes, weirdly enough though, I'm tired, but also at the same time I feel more awake than I usually do. Like if you watch my earlier morning videos, I felt way more like lost in those than I'm feeling right now. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video, guys. Today we're going to talk about actually a thing that popped up that's a bit different than our usual stuff, because this isn't exactly about Sword and Shield, but rather about Nintendo in general, because there's been this big thing that popped up on Gaming Intel, who've been correct a lot of times in the past about Pokemon, or not so Pokemon, but Nintendo Directs, as well as Pokemon Directs a few times in the past. They've been correct about it, and they basically are telling us right now that we might be getting or they're saying they have a leak confirming for them that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct taking place in April. And this was posted on the 31st of March, apparently, and it seems to be like a serious one. I was trying to like look at it, I'm like, is it a joke? And I don't know, like, it just wasn't like, it didn't feel like it was meant to be a joke. Like, it seems like it's being serious. And even if it is a joke, like just by skimming through it here, even if it is a joke, there's probably going to be a Nintendo Direct in April, because usually they don't tend to have that long of a break between them. The longest one they've ever had was the one that we had between the one that we recently had and the last one before that. That was the longest break we've had between Pokemon Directs ever. Usually they're really like close to each other, I mean? They happen every other or so month, or every third month or so. Like, they don't tend to be away for, well, like, about every other month or so, give or take. A bit maybe further than that, but they tend to happen often, right? We don't have that like dry spell too often, and April is a good month to get the big stuff out of the way, right? The big games, Animal Crossing, getting gameplay for that, Luigi's Mansion 3, getting gameplay for that, whatever other stuff they haven't showed yet, getting that stuff out of the way should be happening around that time. And people have been saying like maybe there's going to be a Smash Direct, which I don't think so, because Smash already has already had a lot of attention, and I think they want to focus out on some other stuff, and I think this is the time frame they should be going into, talking about other stuff. And I think what we will see is Pokemon Sword and Shield new gameplay during this Direct this month. So here's the actual article right here. This was posted on the 31st of March. It wasn't on April. It was actually posted really early on the 31st of March. It wasn't like late during the day where you could kind of consider it in certain parts of the world to be April already. No, this was early in the morning. It's posted on the 31st of March, okay? Saying next Nintendo Direct taking place in 2019 leak. Posted by Daniel C. here. So, he starts off by saying Gaming Intel has received exclusive information which suggests that the next Nintendo Direct will be taking place in April 2019. A source which I have been in communication with for a while now has told me that there is a Nintendo Direct planned for April. I can't go into detail right now, but this source has been correct on previous Nintendo Direct announcements and dates. I'll be in touch nearer to the time to give you further details. So, again, these guys have been right in the past. They were right with like 2 of them last year. They were right about 2 Nintendo Direct last year, and they've been correct about things ahead of time a lot. There was one thing they did maybe get a little bit wrong, which was that there was a potential for 2 Directs in October, which didn't end up happening. I think they suggested the possibility of that, but they did say there's going to be one there, but like, not guaranteeing 2. So they get some things right, they get some things wrong. Please keep that in mind as you are listening to what I'm saying right now and what I'm reading. If you want to read the article by yourself, by the way, it's going to be linked down below, so you can go and check that out yourself. Please do read it if you want to, if you don't want to listen to me reading it out for you guys, but I want to give my opinions and thoughts as I'm reading through it, and just kind of breaking it all down. So, he continues on saying that Nintendo Direct April 2019, although almost all leaks should be taken with a little bit of skepticism, we are confident on this. This source has been reliable in the past, and when cross-checking with our most reliable Nintendo source, they stated this was consistent with what they've heard so far, which would make sense again, because April is a good month. It's been, the last Nintendo Direct we had, if we don't count the Pokemon Direct, was the one in, what was that again? Was it January? Was it January Direct? Let me think, actually. I can't remember. I can't recall. I really can't recall if it was, let's see, January January Nintendo Direct 2019. Was it January? I can't remember. I literally can't remember, because things just pass by 24/7. No, it's February. It was February. It was the middle of February. Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to remember that. It was the middle of February, and then we had the Pokemon Direct at the end of February, right? Yeah, so that's when it was, and I was just trying to remember that and recall, because it's kind of hard to remember these sort of things sometimes. But either way, so that happened in February as well, and now it's been 1 month break with March. Nothing happened in March. March was just kind of a dry spell for everything, and now we're walking into April, and April tends to be a month where things tend to start the ball starts rolling a little bit before we get into the the E3 month of June. May is also a really important month, but April is when things kind of like the wheels start rolling in April. That's when things start really heating up, and then they go crazy in June, and that's when the most of the stuff like comes through and happens, and then of course, throughout the rest of the year, things just kind of, go, and then thin down, and then again, things go slow, and then start building up again around April. So that's usually how it tends to work. So yeah, do keep that in mind though. So let's continue down to the actual article here and see what else we have to, actually see. So, now, he continues saying, it's worth taking note that Gaming Intel has also correctly predicted an array of previous Nintendo Directs, and here's what they said here. The Nintendo Indie Direct, Super Smash Bros. Direct in November 2018, Direct arriving on September 6th on 2018, following a powerful earthquake in Japan. This one was then rescheduled to the 13th, which they predicted this one. I remember that when they did predict this, because I actually covered this on my channel. I actually talked about this rumor, which ended up being an actual leak. And actually, went through and said, it's one of those leakers who give you all love so much. I'm not asking you to believe me, but because I have no evidence to prove I'm telling the truth. Direct is September 6th. It's not just for online, since I know Square Enix are showcasing some old games, which ended up being true as well. But yeah, this ended up happening, and people didn't believe it, right? People were like, "Oh, it's not going to happen," but it ended up actually being a thing. And so keep in mind, these guys have credibility from the past. Do keep that in mind as you are listening to my words here. And I think this is important for Pokemon Sword and Shield, because we haven't seen any other gameplay than the small amount we've seen so far, and usually during Nintendo Directs, they do give us new Pokemon gameplay, you know what I mean? It always tends to happen pretty much. If a game's been announced already, they will show gameplay. It's guaranteed. So if one is happening this month, it's definitely going to feature some stuff. So they continue on, he's saying, the Gaming Intel has also cross-checked this information with several other sources to provide this leak, in particular, with even more credibility. It's believed to surface for roughly 30 to 40 minutes, as per usual. While many previous Directs have arrived at either 2 p.m. PT or 3 p.m. PT, we expect this one to be no different. The upcoming Nintendo Direct for April 2019 doesn't appear to be too out of the ordinary. The big Nintendo usually follows, the Big N usually followed Indie Directs with a huge live stream for all their major upcoming rivals. While the latest colossal showcase for Indie Games showcased games occurred on March the 20th, which was true, that did happen. So I guess that's one of the things that happened in March, which was that was pretty big, I guess, in one sense, but, for others, maybe less so. For me, less so as well, because I didn't really watch it. But I did see some cool games pop up out of that, like Cuphead and whatnot for Switch, and, what's it called again, that Hyrule game, Cadence of Hyrule, I think, was really cool as well. So it would make sense to see them unveil their upcoming releases with a direct live stream in April. And they continue on, saying that new Intel as well, like some Miiverse stuff, which is unrelated. The latest Nintendo Direct to date took place during February 2019. A 2-month gap between the previous and upcoming Direct may seem too soon. However, the month of April has quite a reputation for being the home to major Nintendo Direct showcases, which is true. That tends to be a pretty big month for Nintendo. They get a lot of information out to us around this month. It's a pretty big one, okay? Back in 2015 and 2017, Nintendo held a Nintendo Direct live stream in the month of April to showcase an array of upcoming games. April has also received major Directs even prior to that. Which games will be featured? While there hasn't been a great deal of information regarding what Nintendo will introduce down the line as of yet, we can merely speculate on what will be featured at the upcoming Directs. Now, February's Direct featured an addition to Nintendo's smash hit Super Mario Maker game, alongside the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which was in the February one, which was interesting. So we had Super Mario Maker 2, and of course Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Potentially Nintendo could announce additional details for the upcoming Animal Crossing installment, or even information on the highly anticipated Zelda sequel, which, is going to be a pretty big one. But since they already have Link's Awakening, I don't think they're going to announce another Zelda game right now. While Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has a spring update scheduled prior to the end of April, it's highly likely they will see further details regarding that. Whatever Nintendo have up their sleeves, there is one thing that we know for sure. Fans are in for an extraordinary surprise. Which games would you like to see announced during the upcoming April 2019 Nintendo Direct? Let us know in the comments down below. So yeah, let me know as well, guys. I'd love to know that. But I'm going to say this right now. Pokemon will definitely be getting information there. We're going to see new gameplay. Nintendo does tend to include Pokemon, new stuff, like small things. Like, for example, if you look at Ultra Sun and Moon, right? That was announced during a normal Nintendo Direct, but also we got more gameplay during that, future Nintendo Directs. We got more Pokemon gameplay. And I'm thinking Sword and Shield will definitely get a little bit of a spotlight in there as well. Not too much, but just an extra little bit of footage, right? Because the Pokemon promotional cycle starts around April anyways. This is when the promotional cycle for the new Pokemon generations tends to start. And then it's going to start, again, the same as when Nintendo's general, and just a general promotional cycle. This is when it starts, going, and this is where it kind of starts rolling from. Here is the beginning, and then slowly it will roll forward and get us to, the end goal, which is essentially just getting a Nintendo Direct and getting more information, and essentially getting the games. That's the end goal, and that's where we're headed to. So I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, is this going to be happening? I think so. I actually think, yeah. I think this is one of those things where I say, this is probably a definite leak. The guys have been right in the past. I trust them. They've been correct several times in the past. Every time I believed in them, they got through it. They got right. And they were correct. And this doesn't seem to be an April Fool's joke. They don't do this that sort of stuff. And this was posted on the 31st of March, not on the 1st of, like, April. So it definitely isn't an April Fool's joke. I'm pretty sure we can establish that. I mean... You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can kind of establish that. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? What do you think about this whole subject? Are you excited? Are you not? Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy, you know, feel free to follow the channel for more future content. And have yourselves a great day. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.